Afternoon peeps, we are here again and we are looking at going to do a gameplay guide, well specifically a map gameplay guide. There aren't very many about, and the videos I've done before have been specific tags on the maps, and I've tried to cover everything I can do. So what we'll do is we're going to play some Lakeville. I will pause the video and put the map back up. So as we actually look at the map itself, you can see it's a tier 9 game, so a top tier, and ideally the main focal point of the fighting will be in the town. So you're looking around about the right hand side on their spawn and the left hand side now spawn, but the right hand side is see the map. The other areas of interest themselves are going to be down the middle, along the actual lake itself, the little road that runs alongside, and you will see sort of a stalemate battle going on in the actual valley, what we'll call the riverbed. On the left hand side of the map, as you see, primarily where I will be going is down the middle. I want to be able to cover across where I can see people being spotted on the far side, and I also want the opportunity of being able to go back should I need to and go into the town. Ideally the people in the town will want to go no further than the actual church. They can get a couple of shots into the middle if people get spotted, but ideally they want to be focaling their point through there and pushing forward. Fortunately, the way artillery likes playing this game, and because there's only one available, they will tend to aim down the riverbed itself from both sides, so you're very much unlikely to be hit in the town, especially with the amount of cover that you actually have. And you can see everything from that, what it is that we're going to be trying to do, at least from the very beginning. Now, because this is a random game, I'm obviously going to be going forward and trying to spot forward. I want to try and spot the people that are coming across, and it looks to be there's a nice little group of people going towards the town, some towards the lake, the actual side where I am on now, and also some other people down the other side of the map. Not really the best idea for them to do, but we'll see what happens. It's only worth doing what you do normally, and then going from there. Unfortunately, the Stupanzer decides to YOLO because he's a light, notices I'm around the corner, gets shot, and proceeds to then come forward. Whilst he's doing his suicide scouting, he's not really going to be of much pain to remove. The only problem is I've just got to be careful of where I'm going to get shot from people actually doing that. And there are two people over to my left. Don't know what the first one was, but the second one being a Motherland. So I'm not tempted to go too far and want to get spotted by them again. But I know the view range of the tank is very, very good, so I want to try and hold this middle, which is very important to be able to spot across. Now, unfortunately, the way it goes is that people aren't specifically going into the town, and knowing how far forward the tanks are on their side of the map, it's looking to be the case, okay, we're going to have to work out something else to do. Now, I know there are people shooting in front of me, so it must mean that there are people on that hill. There's no real point in me staying where I am. There's plenty of tanks around here, and it looks to be a stalemate. I'm not spotting anything, so I need to move around. And my understanding and thought process is I'll go towards the town. There aren't very many people there, so I want to try and cover along the actual lake itself. Either get shots onto the people into the middle, stay undetected, or take on the people that are in the town. My big derpy gun, being top tier, is one of the ways in which I will take it and be an advantage. This gun does like heavy damage, 500 shot. It's awesome. Nice little swim for the AMX, but as we're moving into the town, there is a stalemate going on in the actual, so what you call like a muddy riverbed, so to speak, in the far end side. Don't do that. That's just basically going to be the case of people sitting still. I want to go into the town. There aren't very many people here. Judging by who's been spotted, I might be able to get away with sitting in the town. Not going too far in because my reload doesn't allow me to do that much. But again, here I am. I'm able to take shots at people on the far side. Unfortunately, the accuracy of this gun doesn't lend itself to be too good. So I will miss a lot of shots as I'm actually playing this game. So I'm not going too far forward. I want to take shots on the far side, but I know people are going to shoot me from there. So I want to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. Take it slow. Seeing that people are pushing through the town, don't go too far. Try and cover your shots from the middle. Try and make sure you can actually spot them from the middle if you want to try and delay their advance across, if you want to try and get shots across, if you want to try and spot them for other people. That's the primary focus at the moment. I don't want to be doing something that's going to get myself either killed or in a position whereby I'm of no use to my friendly tanks. The medium around the corner, not really fussed about him, he's staying where he is. Unfortunately, the Waffle Panzer does exactly what it is I said you shouldn't do, which is go YOLO forward. When it was I decided to not pen a WZ in front, I loaded up heat. I'm not having RNG ruin a moment whereby I need to ensure that I get damaging hits. Now, the Waffle Panzer's out of the game, but there aren't very many people in the actual middle of the map. The town is a primary focus of every part of Lakeville, and it's a wonder as to why I found myself in a game where no one's got it. So, there are a couple of tanks in the middle that I need to try and take out, but again, not reveal myself behind to get shot from the TDs that I know are there. And yes, I've loaded up heat, but I don't really care. I want to try and make sure all the guns are removed regardless of their health. The Motherland fortunately took a big wallop from the Waffle Panzer, so there's not much of him left. And otherwise as well, they are not wanting to push as far forward as what they look to, because of the people camping on a base, which is not very helpful. But it's all about being able to adapt. So whilst this guide will give you an idea of how it is that it should be played, it's always going to end up being much different than what it should actually be. Now I'm only trying to get little tiny pot shots. I know the medium in front of me is going to bounce on a regular occasion, and I've got the help from an M103. Again, the two TDs on the actual middle of the map are not something I want to get spotted by, nor do I want to find myself in a position of not being able to hit them. It's ideal that they take them out, and then we've got that bit to either come back if we need to, if we're going onto the base cap, or go back the other way and have our team come across the middle. Again, you can see though the actual riverbed, so to speak, I'll call it the riverbed. It's still a stalemate. People aren't really doing very much. Artillery is usually there. I'll pause the video so you can see exactly where it is that I'm talking about. So even though this game hasn't technically been going on very long from what you would perceive to be, 5 minutes isn't exactly a large amount of time, but you can see all of what's happened already. The tanks that have been taken out, the ones that have been spotted, the movement of our side at the very least of what's happening. What have they done on their side? Not very much, because it's a stalemate. The people you can see dead on the enemy team are the people that have tended to come around the corner on the town side, so to speak, or would be the best way of putting it. So you can see how it is that the difference of why it is that you should be pushing around this way over the other way. There's no point in holding off a stalemate. The only thing you would need to do with that, have a couple of tanks go forward, have them pushing forward to a point where you know that you can stop. If the enemy team come over the hill, fair enough, they'll get hit or they'll get obliterated by something or another. You can see again the artillery is in the location where you would expect them to be. Fortunately, because we have two, because people are platooning artillery with artillery, GG, it does make it a bit easier on our side because you're able to rain fire down on top. The cover that's afforded on both sides from the rock formations means that they're able to sit behind cover, but they get hit by artillery, so they will have to move because you can't move very fast. If you are a slow tank, you're screwed. As we go further back into the town, actually what's happening on our side, I'm not wanting to go too far forward at the moment until I know what's happening. I know there are two TDs looking across. The people in the middle have sort of caused their own stalemate by not going forward. Not really helpful. The only thing you would look to try and do, if they know that we can get shots from the middle and if we push forward, it may actually put them to go forward. There are still people in this game that are undetected, and they're just as powerful as the people who have been detected. You don't know where they are. Yes, they may not be very big tanks, but at the same time, if you don't know where you're being shot from, you need to take wary of what's happening and make sure you're not put in a position whereby you get hit in the back. It might be a tank that's 2 tiers below you, but if you're not able to get shots onto him, and because you're then taking interest in what he's doing, you're pretty much done. So my next steps of going forward is going to be the middle. There's not much in the town itself. From the people that have come through, I can fully expect or believe that no one is going to be further coming through this part. The tanks that are behind me, it's not really something that people should be afraid of, but people are afraid of the unknown. Much in the same way that I explained it before, people don't know where they are. The medium and the TD in the middle haven't been detected that I know of at this moment in time, so it could very well be there behind us. So this gives us a chance to push forward. My thoughts as the game was going on is that most of the people, if all, are going to be on their base. Now we can go around the long side, or we can go around the short side. The short side being hugging the water, the long side going around the back. The back obviously offers more cover, but it takes longer to do, and whether you can do that or not really something that you should be trying to do. Now this is kind of a long thought process of what's going through, but when you play the game it will generally be happening quicker. So if you're able to take everything that's happened so far in the previous 5 minutes and apply it within a couple of seconds, you'll know what it is you need to do. The best way of doing something is just to try it and see how it works, and then work from there. Was it a good feature, i.e. for this map, was it a good move that you can implement on another map? But we'll see how it goes. And then when it is that I'm coming back, I'm now going to go into the middle, and now I'm going to be able to get shots onto the people who are coming across. Again, the accuracy of this gun does not lend itself to be quite useful. It's trolley, really trolley, so you've got to try and be careful of what you're doing with it. But fortunately, because the Conqueror isn't too interested in actually playing the game properly, he decides to go across the middle, lending himself to be shot. He's not really noticed that the people who were in the town have died. The situational awareness wasn't there for him, but this is a prime example of taking them out and having the opportunity to be able to hit people on the side, should they decide to do what this gentleman is doing now, or lady, depending on who it is that's actually playing. As we're moving further into the town, it's quite clear and obvious with who's left in the game, whereabouts they are. I know the two TDs in the middle, I can see the people that are on the map, I can see the Conqueror is going to be there as well, I know where the Arty is more than likely going to be, so I can find myself in a position where I can move forward and not get swamped in the town by 2 or 3 different tanks. I want to try and make sure my advance is aggressive, but make sure it's calculated. I don't want to be going into any sort of case where the WZ, for example, takes a pot shot, but that I'm suddenly met with something that I wasn't expecting. Using the large minimap in the bottom right corner allows me to see that, being whether it's looking it throughout the middle of the game. There are a few times, and I'll do this, it's very difficult to notice. I'll spend a lot of time looking at the minimap, and I won't see exactly what's going on in front of me. So there are times when there will be a tank that runs in front of me that I wasn't expecting. But I take the overall view of the map. It's not something that always hinders me, but it's not also something that actually is ideal to do all of the time. It's just a habit I can't break. Now, fortunately, the liver, or the low, however you want to say it, going across the middle, not finding himself in a primarily good position, so I can get a couple of decent shots into him and he gets finished off. Again, this is the situational awareness part, knowing that you shouldn't go across the middle to get shots from the side. I'm always going to find myself running along, in this case, knowing what I need to do. And this is what people also shouldn't find out themselves doing. It sounds very convoluted and complicated, but using the situational awareness of what's going on the map, where people are located, what types of tanks there are located, so you can look at things that have got a faster rate of fire than yours, what type of armour, what type of gun they possibly possess. For tanks like this one, the WZ, you can see there's quite a gulf in the actual gun, so you can't really tell too much with that. But you can see what type of tank it is and whether it's speedy, whether it's likely to be able to flank you. So we lead on to the end of the game. We've taken out quite a few of their tanks. They have been able to push a riverbed, but most of the work has been done on our side to come around the flank. Now it's only a few tanks that are left. The very nice tier 9 TD, not the Waffle Panzer, the Conway, has decided to run her. The tank itself is relatively fast, and I know that I have the option of going down the middle of the map. This is what clearing it off does. So if he does want to actually go down and try and cap our base, he can do. So I'm not trying to find myself in a position where I don't have an escape opportunity. I'm not trying to find myself in a position where I'm going to get slaughtered by everyone. I want to try and put myself in a position whereby I have multiple routes that I need to take. Now at the moment, the WZ is doing quite a good job of baiting people, staying behind a rock, keeping us where we are, and the Waffle Panzer is doing the same. Yes, they're not on exactly a large amount of health, but also at the same time, they have big guns. Apart from the WZ, not a particularly good one. So I'm thinking as this is going through, we're capturing the base, we have the option to cap. At the moment, I'm hidden behind an M103. The WZ is unlikely to be coming forward because it is a very good chance that I'll be able to shoot and pen it. Unfortunately, no, I don't there because that was an absolutely terrible shot. So I know that as I'm doing this, the Conway is moving around the riverbed and likely to be going up. Now the only downside to that is if I do get penned or tracked, I'm going to lose the capture points, and I don't want to be doing that. I'm thinking, okay, do I want to stay in the capture base? Do I not? Well, I've got plenty of time. I can go around and try and get a couple of the shots into him. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I don't want to be wasting too much time doing something which, in the end of the day, will screw the game up. Fortunately, the two tanks behind me do go back into the base, so should it be that I do end up going forward and not being able to spot him, we will cap the base on the premise of us having slightly more availability. Now, as we go forward, the end of the game, you can see the kind of routes that you can take and how everything is opened up. It's very specific, so there are times when this route gets blocked and you don't actually know it, because sometimes that Conqueror, for example, could have been parked sideways across to avoid being shot by me. Yes, he'll be shot by other people, but this is just some of the stuff that happens, and so in that case it wouldn't have been viable for me to carry on going forward. Might as well have just gone back. You notice it's an AFK tanker. This is one of the things that you can also look into. So whilst he's AFK and not actually playing, no worries. We know that he wasn't going to be on the cap Conway in the end because that tank never spotted him. It would have been 100% possible that Conway goes around, he's going to get spotted by him, and we'll know exactly where he is. Now, I was under the assumption that he would still be coming round. Because of the terrain resistance, he's not going to move as fast as what he is, but he decided to sit at the top. Even though I locked onto the target, I wasn't able to get the shot and kill him. But hopefully, the way in which the video went, you were able to understand some basics of it, of how the map is normally played. This is a very different one, and like I say, I'll put the videos up with a description of where it is you should be going on the map itself. And hopefully if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be putting a few more up a bit later.